Right, let's go back live to FNB Stadium now in Soweto here in Johannesburg for the National Day of Prayer. My colleague Ramokgopa is there.
Live visuals coming to you from FNB Stadium on one of the important days in Christian calendar, if you would, the National Day of Prayer. Over 30 religious organizations coming together in one voice, irrespective of who you believe in, irrespective of what you pray, what you kneel for, any day, any time you like. And as you can see, performances still coming through from the likes of Dumi Mgokstad taking to the stage to entertain over 100,000 congregants here on the floor in the grandstand in all different church colors, all decorated indeed, but they are here to pray for the country. But joining me in studio is Treasurer General of the ANC, Dr. Gwen Ramakgopa. Thanks so much for joining us, TG. Let's talk about this. First things first. What did the ANC give you in terms of the list, prayer list, to come with here today?
Thank you very much for this interview, and also greetings to the viewers and listeners. I'm here to represent, yes, the African National Congress, but also to pray together with the people of South Africa. Firstly, we want to thank the people, all the faiths that are here. That's across Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, African traditional, and other faiths that are here. We are joined in one spirit, and the spirit of faith should be used to build a nation than to divide it. We are here, today is the 1st of December. We remember that there's a day we focus on the HIV and AIDS and TB. We want to thank God for the progress we've made as a country. And we also are in the middle of the 16 days of gender-based violence and femicide. We want to encourage our nation to really pray that this comes to an end. Prayer always goes with action, and the actions are outlined in various programs. But we're also here, we will soon be also marking the World Disability Day. I think it's on the 4th of December. And on the 10th of December, it's Human Rights Day. It's also a day that we remember that we need peace, we need security in our country and in the world. We pray that our communities should be safe. We pray that countries like Mozambique also must find peace and peaceful transition from one government to another. We pray for West Africa also to find one another and also to be able to move beyond the civil tensions and unrest that were there. We also pray for Sahrawi in Africa so that they also can be free like all others are free. Above all, we also put Europe in our prayers, especially the Ukraine-Russia war, and also the very painful conflict that is in the Middle East. We know that many hospitals, many buildings, homes in Gaza and in Palestine have been destroyed, and many children and women have died. We also pray for my own colleagues, health workers, who instead of being protected, they feel that they are targeted. We pray for those who were kidnapped from Israel to be brought back, but we also pray for people in Israel to say not in their name. They must stand firm and say the carnage against the people of Palestine can't take place in their name.
And TG, I cannot let you go without asking this specific question. I mean, we are in government of national unity. We are hearing different voice there, and there's also the issue of the Bela bill that continues to really draw negative attention here and there. Let's talk about that, and I'm sure you're also here to sort of pray and ask the clergy to pray for this government of national unity to sort of show unity so that the people of South Africa can have confidence in it.
Indeed, my brother, I was just sitting next to my money, and we were talking about the fact that the governments are not governments for themselves. They are supposed to be servant leaders. And my main concern, and our main concern as African National Congress, is that almost 60% of South Africans who are eligible to vote didn't go out and vote. It means that we as political leaders, we have left people behind. And the government of national unity must not focus on narrow party political issues, but they must focus on the needs of the people. The Bela bill, especially the clause that is being contested, it enables every school to accommodate all languages. It does not exclude anyone. It is fear that makes others anxious. And we really appeal to them to focus on what unites us than what divides us. Also, another law, the National Health Insurance Act, that seems to be a contestation, and it's not all parties, it may be one or two parties, but the rest of the parties are really together because these two laws have been passed democratically by Parliament after extensive interviews by the Parliamentary Committee. So the Government of National Unity agreed, all those that participate, to supporting the Constitution, the rule of law, and all democratic processes that have been put through. But having said that, my brother, I think the important thing is for patience and for tolerance, and also for reaching out to one another. So we really want to pray for the government of national unity, that the leaders focus on the people and not the narrow interests.
And you're talking about patience, TG, something, you know, some voters don't seem to have at this stage. You talk about the likes of Stilfontein issue that's still ongoing. You know, children being found to be working underground. Many of them are not supposed to be in this country. They don't have papers. Critics saying that, well, ANC is to blame.
Well, I think if you are a leader in society, you also need to acknowledge that in every situation, you look back and say there could have been more done. You would remember that the apartheid situation was with us for over 300 years. And the past 30 years, we took mainly to undo the wrongs of the past, the laws that criminalized us being in certain areas, restrictions, the dispositions of land. We have not redressed everything. And in addition, we needed to sustain and maintain law and order in all the areas of life, including on the issues of areas where private sector was involved in. These mines were mines under the private sector, and they've just abandoned them. So it is also a lesson from us, and we are looking at tightening the laws or persuading and making sure that the government, which is ANC-led, tightens the laws that are there in the best interest of people. In South Africa, it is illegal for minors to work. Children, it must be at school to prepare themselves for skills and all that for the future, under the guidance of adults. So those perpetrators who made children laborers need to be brought to book, and we're happy that the police are there, and there has been arrests already.
Where would you say you got it wrong, though, TG? Maybe we can go back to 1994. Where do you think you should have done better in terms of addressing the issue of borders as well, so to speak, because that's where the problem is. Many of these people don't have documents to come here, and these are the sentiments that we even find from some parts of the community, and they are saying they are perpetrating violence as well.
Yes and no. We must not say the people who do wrong in our country are only those that come from outside. And in many cases, those that come from outside that do wrong together with a few in our country who need to be identified and also punished. In addition, indeed, as government, perhaps we should have left the defense force at our borders. But we knew also that the countries around us were part and parcel of the workers of South Africa. And we remember that we also opened up a period where those that have been in our country for so many years were entitled to full residence and all that. So it is not really about the people. There's a time when we visited a state visit to the country to West Africa, including Nigeria, and we were informed that the criminals there are the ones that come to our countries and do wrong things. It is not those nationalities. So we need to strengthen our criminal justice system to ensure that only those that are legal come to our country, and those that do wrong things are identified and are indeed punished. And that's why I'm saying we are glad that the police are there and the police are making arrests as we speak.
And just go, to our point earlier on, some of the pastors that I spoke to, they are talking about the issue of unemployment. I think almost everyone that I spoke to here, TG. And I wonder, coming from this, going back to Lutuli House,
yes,
what are you going to tell them in terms of trying to address the issue of unemployment, especially among young people, among graduates who are sitting at home with those papers?
I've just visited the Riyadh, one of the provinces in Saudi Arabia, and we also had an opportunity to journey with them from where they come from desertification of their land, which used to have rivers and all that, to conflicts, and they are rebuilding using their natural resources. They are a productive nation. I'm really inspired, and as part of the prayers here, is that our country must remember that we are a richly endowed country and continent. We have minerals, we have gas, we have petroleum, we have the riches that are there naturally that need to be unlocked. So what we need is investments, financial investments. In our manifesto as the ANC, we had the establishment of a sovereign wealth fund. These countries in the Gulf countries, they used their resources to build sovereign wealth funds that are now working for them. And that is one thing that we must do, and that's one thing that we must work together, rural areas where they have these minerals and all that. We must honor the people like the late Kgosi Thulare Braaro from Sekhukhune, who also analyzed his own district. And he knew that he is more richly endowed than a Dubai, and that if his people can come and work the land in terms of the minerals and all that, and those riches are housed in a wealth fund, that country or that the countries of Dubai can actually be competed with equally. So he actually said he would want to make a Dubai and more out of Sekhukhune land. So let's focus on what we can do together. There's a lot we can do. Resources must be made available. There's a lot of idle capital in our country, and we need to unlock that, including the pension funds, including the royalties that are there. We need to be creative and pull together than pull apart.
And you know, TG, when we talk about churches, we're talking about winning souls to the churches. Former President Jacob Zuma expelled from the ANC. He says he wants to win back the soul of the ANC.
Well, he can never take what the ANC has done for him, and we appreciate that. However, actions, as we say, count more than words. The establishment of another party is very clearly governed in our constitution. And also coming back, there are also regulations that are set how anyone who has been expelled can come back. So we work within the constitution of our organization, and we respect what he thinks, but we also have to ensure that we honor what many have built as the African National Congress.
Are you also here to pray for him?
We pray for everyone. We pray for everyone. We pray for all the leaders of all political parties. We pray that they focus on serving the people and not themselves.
TG, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
And thank you.
Treasurer General of the ANC, Dr. Gwen Ramakgopa, the Griselda, of course, saying that they are here to pray for everyone, including the expelled former ANC President Jacob Zuma. Of course, performances are still underway on the floor, as you can see. Well, they are not going to be dampened by the scorching sun, weather conditions here at the FNB Stadium on this day of National Day of Prayer. And they will still be here, and of course, to put the nation in prayers for all the ills, the social ills that the country continues to face.
Shri Ram, 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 Raja Ram, 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 Shri Ram.